Hi there, I'm Susan Baker. I'm one of the authors of For the Love of Our Children, and I wanted to just jump on and introduce myself and share a little bit about this whole process, being an author with this collective, what it's like to be a mom of a child who's unique with different needs, and a little bit more about what I've learned through this journey, and maybe even some insight or perspectives for anybody at any stage of their journey. So I am a mom to two children, and my son is Andrew, and he is 12, on the autism spectrum, non-speaking. My daughter Abby is 9 years old. We live in Toronto, Canada, and I also have a background in holistic nutrition, which is a part of my story and a part of our journey in our family as well, which I do get into in the chapter. My background is in science and health and nutrition, and that is still certainly a passion of mine. I've been in the holistic health industry for over 20 years now. I started with my own personal health journey, suffering from poor digestion and allergies, and then noticing how food has such a significant impact on our health, on my health specifically. I became like a totally different person through learning about holistic nutrition, changing my diet, and improving my lifestyle to be a healthier lifestyle. And that happened many years before I actually started to have children. And so it was an automatic that I would carry that into my journey as a mother. And so I get into that in my chapter. It's a huge piece of who I am. But it was when I had kids that my life started to take a bit of a left turn. And so although I do not, since having kids, do not practice nutrition full time as a practitioner anymore, it's still a big part of my life. And I have allowed other avenues or other things into my life which have grown along the way. For example, writing. And so you can also find me and my children and our story online through right now the Facebook blog Life, Love, and Autism. And that really is, it has chronicled our family's journey for many years. And it's a really, really cool, really, really interesting and really neat way of seeing this process unfold. Some of the challenges and some of the incredible events that have happened along the way. Why did I participate in this collective? I believe that, parenting is a big task. It's a big job. And, parenting children, there's no one size fits all. There's no handbook that they give you when your child comes into your life. And certainly with special needs parenting, to use that term as well, is that it really is getting to know your child for who they are, what their needs are, what could work in your own family, different from every other family and every other child in every other situation. And so I think by many different families coming together to share their experience, it gives this beautiful range of experience and perhaps suggestion and insight for other families. And so I felt compelled to be part of that because our journey is unique in and of itself. And it's a really great journey to share, just like everybody else's in the book. So it was absolutely an honor to be asked to join to do this collective book. And I believe it helps to have all those different perspectives. What were some of the challenges, or what are some of the challenges and rewards of parenting a child with unique needs? Certainly the challenges present themselves almost very easily, and they change by age. It seems to change by season. It may change by circumstance, and even what's going on collectively in the world. Many of our children, my son included, are he's highly intuitive and very sensitive to what is going on around him. So, that is where some of the challenges can present, because there are certain things we can and cannot control. There are basic challenges, particularly when my son was younger, like picky eating and sleep deprivation for him and for us. Very, very difficult stages with sleep. I think perhaps navigating the journey in and of itself is very challenging at the start, especially because in our experience, the diagnosis was given like a life sentence, and it's kind of like, well, good luck. Here's a few handouts, for goodness sakes. And so you kind of feel overwhelmed and alone and maybe even lonely in this journey until you start to connect with other families going through a similar experience. Of course, there's some anxiety around what the future may look like, and what you might need to do to prepare for that mentally, emotionally, physically. In that, though, have been incredible learnings, lessons. Even just that you can't control the future. There really is no way to predict what that looks like. And even in our personal experience, which you would read in the chapter in the book, trust in the process and trust in the journey became one of the biggest lessons or benefits from our family's experience, because things we could never have imagined came along our path, which not only helped our family, but has given us tons of hope and excitement about what the future actually could hold. And so I think the personal benefit, you may hear some commentary in the background, deepening of one's personal growth is a huge reward in my mind. Some of the challenges have actually brought our family together, but certainly it has made us a more compassionate, patient, and trusting family. How did a diagnosis change our life? How did our journey change our life? I always say, if I could tell the woman I was before I became a mother what it would be like, there's no way I could have predicted. But that it has changed my life in that I have learned my own strength as a person, as a woman, as a mother, and that it is also okay to have weakness, so to speak, to understand and acknowledge that there are still challenges in this journey. And so it's changed my life from that perspective, that where I think I used to want to have control and a sense of knowing of what's happening now. What do I need to do? What do I need to do tomorrow? What does next year look like? In order to reduce anxiety, I've learned to let go of that control in many ways. And that is for the better. What have I learned from this? As I write in my chapter, the best summary of it really for me was threefold. One, I've learned to be open. I've learned to be open to things I could never have expected. I've learned to be open to different perspectives and methodologies and other people's experiences. I've learned to be open to my child and his needs and my daughter's needs, as opposed to thinking maybe that I know what's best or I know what to expect. And second would be to accept, not only accept my child, both my children, for who they are, but to accept that life may not look the way I thought it would. And to accept that there will be challenges along the way, but also a lot of joy from those experiences. And lastly, and probably the biggest takeaway, biggest learning, biggest lesson from my life has been to trust. To trust in the journey, to trust in the process of life, to trust myself, definitely. And to trust that even when it's hard, life takes you to exactly where you need to be. And that resources and insights and perspectives and support present themselves. Not that you're sitting back just waiting for that to happen, but that when you trust and you trust yourself, you believe that you will be presented with new forms of learning or new supports for your child or for your family. And that's exactly what happened with our situation, where I was very focused on nutrition and lifestyle and biomedical and supplements. A method of communication came along our path that would change our life forever. And that is not an exaggeration. And so I had to be open for that, right? I had to as well trust that, although I wasn't looking for this, here it was, and to maybe give it a chance, right? And it has absolutely just changed the direction of our family's life. What advice would I have for other families navigating a similar journey? I mean, parenting in general, but certainly parenting children who have individual or unique needs. My best advice is to stay the course. I mean, not that you have a huge number of options otherwise, but to stay the course even from that mental, emotional, spiritual perspective, which is you are the best person for this job and for your child. And although it's hard at times, there's a lot of richness and there's a lot of joy. And when we stay the course, we do that because we know that this journey is doable on some level because we were chosen for it. So staying the course allows us to see that it unfolds. It allows us to see the perspectives and supports, etc., that are available, that present themselves along the way. And the benefits just continue to come from there. As well as trusting your gut. Again, as cliche as that sounds, and maybe as hard as that is to do, when we trust our gut, we realize and learn that often whatever it was we were making a decision around is truly the best fit for our situation, our family, our child. When we go internal, it's like a customized approach, as opposed to putting all of our beliefs and direction into the external. When we trust our gut, we can make decisions that are truly best for our child. And lastly, is there anything else important to share with you? This is the life that was given to me. Although I've said as it is hard at times, there's also tons and tons of joy. And without a question of a doubt, I have such a solid belief in knowing that this is the life that was meant for me. And if I can leave families, parents with anything, it would be just that this is what you are called to be part of, to participate in, and that you are perfect for your child. Wishing everybody the best journey in navigating this. Thank you for the opportunity to share, and enjoy the book, For the Love of Our Children. Bye-bye.